How can the maker movement help adaptive tech users? Let's find out. Hey, I'm that guy Bud. In the last video, we touched briefly on the fact that one of the reasons adaptive tech is so expensive is that the companies that make it employ engineers to keep on the cutting edge of technology. New hardware and software come out all the time, and engineers help figure out how the adaptive tech community can leverage this new technology. The issue is, often people don't need new technology. If a switch box connects to a computer, tablet, or phone by means of a cable, then it's likely using some form of USB interface. It's technology that's legally old enough to buy alcohol. The switches themselves are simple devices that use inexpensive audio cables, and some of the models on the market today have been in production for over a quarter of a century. But age doesn't affect the price in the way that it does with other old technology. A 2 to 4 switch interface for a tablet or phone could cost upwards of $150 to $200. By the time that you add switches to that interface, you're up to $300 to $400. What we need to do is to get the price of these items down to a more manageable level. Maybe that price is lowered through DIY, maker, and open source routes. I feel like building a switch would be something that even a budding DIYer could put together fairly quickly and easily. And it's something we hope to empower you to do starting with our next video. As far as building your own interface is concerned, I feel like that would be much more difficult for most people. I'd love to see more interfaces that could be built cheaply and quickly. The problem is we need to build a foundation for experimentation. Nobody wants to risk a $200 interface on a homemade switch. That's one of the reasons the Raspberry Pi Zero sells so well. It's a cheap base for prototyping, and if you break it, you're just out $5. Much of the functionality of these switch interfaces can be easily replicated with a Raspberry Pi, Arduino, or even by modifying video game controllers. It'd be great if a 2-button interface and a couple switches cost the same as a controller for a PlayStation or an Xbox. A $50 to $60 price point would be a lot less daunting of a system to get into, and charities could give away 5 times as many. I think it might be up to the hobbyists, makers, and hackers to finally bring those prices down. Maybe someday that'll force the older tech of the more well-known companies down to a more manageable price. What do you think is the most out-of-reach piece of adaptive tech? What basics do you think we need to get into the hands of the adaptive tech community? Let me know. Join me next time when we tear down some switches and see what makes them tick. If you have suggestions for future videos or questions about this one, you can leave them in the comments below or reach me on Twitter at thatguybud. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. But there is good news. The maker movement has been doing amazing work for the disabled and adaptive tech users. Organizations like Enable are getting custom-sized prosthetics to people who would otherwise not have been able to afford them, and groups like the Controller Project and DIY Ability are getting custom and tailor-made items to people who need them. There are amazing one-offs and 3D custom printed items out there, but while 3D printers are coming down in price, they're still a very expensive tool and not one that's as easy to operate for the average or even the experienced DIYer. While charities like Able Gamers in the US and Special Effect in the UK have been working to get equipment into the hands of individuals, ultimately giving those items away is not the answer.